When we look at Acts chapter 18, we see the first time that Paul visits Corinth. It's around 51 AD. His zeal to spread the gospel is stronger than any fear that he might have had over the city's reputation. He met two fellow Jews there, Aquila and his wife Priscilla, who had recently left Italy because the Emperor Claudius had ordered all of the Jews out of Rome. Drawn together by their Jewish heritage and common trade of tent making, Paul stayed with them, and he discipled them, preaching in the synagogue every Sabbath and trying to persuade the Jews and the Greeks. When Silas and Timothy came, Paul relied on their support, leaving his trade and concentrating his efforts on the Jews. But the Jews were hostile and blasphemous. So Paul left them, and he focused his ministry on the Gentiles, many whom believed and were baptized. Despite this success, Paul apparently still felt afraid and depressed. In Paul's mind, a seed of worry took root that was obvious. It was a pattern that had followed him from city to city. He had been rejected by the Jews. There was progress among the pagans. There was a fury from the Jews. There was expulsion by some kind of mob violence or judicial process just when the gospel gained a foothold. The depression, which was one of the strands of Paul's nature, seemed to gain the upper hand. But if it did, he would never win another Corinthian to Christ. He would never again see the sparkle of a new life in a man's eyes, and he dreaded the physical agony of another stoning or a beating with rods. The desolation of being flung out again, with winter now on them, and the seas turbulent, and nowhere to take his stiff, aging joints but the mountain trails of Panopolis. Jesus comforted Paul in a vision, rallying his spirits with these words, "Do not be afraid any longer, but go on speaking, and do not be silent. For I'm with you, and no man will attack you in order to harm you, for I have many people in this city." So Paul stayed on in Corinth for more than 18 months, his heart becoming welded to the Corinthians as he watched them come to Christ and slowly grow in their faith. The Lord was truly faithful. In the autumn of 52 AD, Paul left Corinth with Aquila and Priscilla, and he set sail for Ephesus. Leaving his friends there, he traveled on to Caesarea and Antioch before beginning another missionary journey.